Greetings, YouTube. I am sharing my deck profile for the NR Festival because I came up with the deck and it's really darn fun, and I'm sure that maybe some other people out there are wanting to build Blackluster Soldier. NR Festival Blackluster Soldier. How does it work? Basically the same, to be honest. We lose out on some cards. We don't have Envoy of the Beginning. We don't have Gateway to Chaos, which is probably the biggest hit. That really sucks. I don't know why Gateway to Chaos is a super rare. So how do we make up for it? Well, we run Manju. That's basically the answer. It's not as good as Gateway, but it searches the same cards. Uses up a normal summon. We're ritual summoning anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. We run 2 Senju as well because we want to get the Blackluster Soldier in our hand pretty badly. We can only run the Blackluster Soldier. We don't have access to the Super Soldier Retrain, which again isn't the end of the world because that monster honestly isn't that much better than the vanilla, but it means we only have 3 copies. So we want this in our hand. We use Manju to search, we use Senju to search. I wish there were ways to search the Super Soldier Synthesis other than the Evening Twilight Night and the Manju, but that's just the way it is. That's probably the deck's greatest weakness. In the NR format, it doesn't have as much consistency in terms of getting the ritual spell, but it can still get it. So let's go through the card by card. Super Soldier Soul, it's a normal. You send Blackluster Soldier to the graveyard to increase its attack to 3,000. Really good in the slow format. And it doesn't matter that Blackluster Soldier is in the grave, because Super Soldier Synthesis can special summon from the grave, so it doesn't really matter if you discard it. If you link it away, or you Xyz it away, detach, get it in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard to add the Beginning Night or the Evening Twilight Night to your hand, which is important because these are the materials that you're using with Super Soldier Synthesis to ritual summon. So it's good to get that in the hand. It's a powerful monster, good card. Senju searches the Blackluster Soldier. Manju searches the Blackluster Soldier. It searches the ritual spell. Butter Spy allows you to go into Link, it goes into Link 2, but it can also go into Rank 4 Xyz plays, which means we can play Malevolent Sin in the deck, which you all know is a really good card in the format. It banishes a card. Really cool. It's a spider. It's also a dark monster, so it's good to have in the graveyard. Gaia. It can banish a dark monster from your graveyard. It can banish the Evening Twilight Night. You can add a ritual monster to your hand. Not bad. You can also tribute a light monster if you have another one on the field. Say you still have Manju on the field for some reason or whatever. You tribute it. You add a dark warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. So you can use this to search out the Envoy of Chaos. Not bad. The only thing that sucks about this card is that it doesn't count as a Gaia the Fierce Night monster for some reason, so it doesn't synergize with Envoy. Really missed opportunity. I am not sure why this card doesn't count as a Gaia the Fierce Night monster. It's kind of like a huge oversight, but whatever. It's a normal. I didn't know this card existed until I started searching around the card database. It's not bad. Fills out the deck. Now we get to the Little Knights. The Little Knights have 2 purposes. 1, you ritual summon the Blackluster Soldier using these cards, and it gives the Blackluster Soldier effects. If you use both of the Knights, then your Blackluster Soldier can banish a monster on the field 2 times, it can attack twice if you destroy a monster in battle, and you can banish a card from your opponent's hand face down until the opponent's next end phase. So, essentially, if you get this out and your opponent doesn't have a negate, you can banish 2 monsters, you can attack twice, and your opponent goes -1 in card advantage. It's really, really strong. Envoy of Chaos, it's an honest. You discard it when your Blackluster Soldier does battle. Actually, it's any time during the battle phase, so you can use it without initiating a battle if you really wanted to. So it's a little different than honest, a little bit more freedom, but it increases your Blackluster Soldier's attack by 1,500. So you have a 4,500 attack monster that can attack twice if you summon it with Beginning Night, which can enable some OTKs sometimes, which I'll show in one of the replays, but it's a really powerful combo. Good card. When it's in the graveyard, you can banish a light and dark monster from your graveyard to add the card to your hand. Now that I'm saying that, I'm going back to the Little Knights because what I forgot to mention is the point of the deck is that you banish these cards from your graveyard, and when you do that, it triggers an effect where the Beginning Night adds a ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. And the Evening Twilight Knight, when it's banished from the graveyard, searches a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. So, banishing these cards from your graveyard is the main way you search out the ritual spell and the ritual monster, which enables your plays. So how do we banish them from the graveyard? Well, we can use Envoy's effect. We also play Chaos Sorcerer. Chaos Sorcerer is kind of a replacement for Envoy of the Beginning. It was a replacement for Envoy of the Beginning back in the day when Envoy was banned. In the regular format, Envoy is at 3, but we don't have that in this format, so we play Chaos Sorcerer. It's kind of like a throwback to the old days of Chaos decks. It banishes a light and dark monster from your graveyard. The goal is to banish both the Beginning Knight and the Evening Twilight Knight at the same time. Because if you do that, you get the ritual spell and you get the ritual monster, which sets you up to do that ritual summon that we want to do. Chaos Emperor Dragon, kind of a meme, but it does the same thing as long as you don't activate its board wiping effect. You can use it to banish the light and dark monster from your graveyard. It also has the board wiping effect. As long as you're not planning to do anything else on that turn, you can pay 1,000 life points and send every card on the field and in the hands to the graveyard and then deal some burn damage. You can do this to finish off your opponent, cowboy style, if you really want to. Been in a few situations where I'm actually intending on making plays that turn, but my opponent has a negate and I have this card in my hand. You can play the card, special summon it, then activate its effect to wipe the board, and it's probably going to bait out whatever negate your opponent has on the field. Now what's great about that is that if Chaos Emperor Dragon is negated, the restriction that you can't activate other cards during your opponent's turn, or during your turn, sorry, doesn't go through. So, as long as this card gets negated, you can still go ahead and make your plays, and lo and behold, you have baited out a negate. So it's one way to get one negate off the board. The vanilla Super Soldier Ritual card lets you ritual summon the normal way, using monsters in the hand to ritual summon. Let's say you have 2 Blackluster Soldier in your hand, or an Emperor Dragon in your hand that you don't want. You can ritual summon the Blackluster Soldier using this card. It's searchable, so you play one just in case that scenario comes up. It also has another effect where it can banish a light and dark monster, so this is another way to do that if you need. And it special summons a Blackluster Soldier ritual monster from your hand, ignoring the summoning conditions, so it's just a way to ritual summon Blackluster Soldier without any effects, but if you're needing to banish your Beginning Knight and Evening Twilight Knight, it's not an unusable way to do that. MST, Book of Moon, Compulse, Beginning of Heaven and Earth, an archetype-specific trap. Basically what you do with this card is you reveal 3 warrior-type monsters from your deck, and basically you send them to the graveyard. It does have an effect where you have to include the Blackluster Soldier and the 3 warrior-type monsters that you choose, and then if your opponent randomly picks it, you get to add it to your hand, which is fine and all, but it doesn't really matter, because even if all 3 cards go to the graveyard, which is going to happen most of the time, that's what you want, because the Blackluster Soldier can be ritual summoned from the graveyard with the spell anyway, and if you're playing the card, then you're wanting to get your Twilight Knight and your Beginning Knight in the graveyard. So let's say you have the Chaos Sorcerer in your hand, you play this card, sends the Little Knights to the graveyard, and then you can banish and go for your plays. So, it's a good card to fill your graveyard. The last card is Expendable Die. This is like a going first card, which this deck likes to go second, but let's say you're going first. You can set one of the Little Knights, which have 2,000 defense, which is kind of nice, and then you can set this and pass. And then you have a little bit of interruption. You can tribute the set card. It doesn't matter if it's face down, you can still tribute it. And then you can destroy a card in the field, and then you can draw a card. Not a bad effect. Not worth running more than 1 copy, but it's not bad. The extra deck, I filled it with nonsense. We have Gem Knight Pearl, very good card. King Arthur. Gaga Samurai, it can attack twice. Sometimes it's better than Malevolent Sin. Most of the time you're going for Malevolent Sin. It's a very good card, it banishes. Lynx, Clara and Rushka. So the idea behind this card is that in regular format, what you do with this deck is that you summon one of the Little Knights, and then you Almirage to get it in the graveyard so that you can banish it. This card is kind of like a budget Almirage, since we can't play Almirage. The only difference is that it can only be used on main phase 2, and it doesn't come off the field, so you have to get it off the field some other way. Or not. I mean, if they attack into it, you know, fine. But it's a way to get the Little Knights in the grave if you need to. And yeah, you have to skip your battle phase, but basically what you can do is that if you're trying to get one of these in the graveyard, you're probably trying to summon Chaos Sorcerer, which if you summon this on your main phase 2, you can still banish a card, so it's not the worst. It kind of replaces All Mirage, so I play 2. Proxy Dragon, Link Climbing, Code Talker, decent. Double Bite Dragon, this is basically what you go for if you're not getting one of the things you need for your combo. Like you're not getting your ritual spell, you can attempt to go into this. It's a decent wall. Cross Sheep, you Link summon. Let's say you get both Little Knights out at the same time. You link into this, and then you banish both cards from your graveyard to get the things you need to ritual summon. You ritual summon Blackluster Soldier into one of the link zones it points to, and you get to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Codebreaker is an interesting card to me because it's a 2300 attack card that's linked 2, which seems pretty strong to me. It has an effect that doesn't matter, but what does matter is that if it's destroyed by card effect, I think, it special summons itself, so it's not bad. It's also a warrior, and it's a dark monster, so it's not bad to have in the graveyard. You can use expendable die with it, so Power Code Talker, just cuz. It's a link 3. Decent card. And that's the deck, so let's go into some replays. Okay, so here's the first replay. It's basically showing off that we have some OTK potential with the deck. And also, I would say this is probably like the best hand you can get. So, we have the Ritual Spell in hand, and we have the Blackluster Soldier in hand, and we have the Beginning Knight in hand. So we have everything we need to get our combo off just right in hand, which is really nice. And as a bonus, we also have Super Soldier's Soul. So we can get another 3000 attack beatstick on the board. Our opponent is playing Trains, which was very confusing to me because they can't play Gustav. So I was wondering what they were summoning here. They're just stacking these number monsters that I've honestly never seen in my life, but it's a 4000 attack beatstick. And so I'm reading this effect, and you know, it does all of these things. But none of these things are a quick effect, so I'm really not worried. I mean, it's a 4000 attack monster, so I guess there's that. And then he link summons into this. And then I read this thing's effect. And then it becomes clear to me. It says, an Xyz monster whose original type is machine and has this card as a material gains this effect. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. Alright. So you're going to add some protection to your 4000 attack monster. Oh, wait. It's a fiend monster. Okay. Let's play. So, I draw a card. Super Soldier Soul. Send the Blackluster Soldier to the graveyard. Gain 3000 attack. Notice I can still play the Ritual Spell because it can special summon the Blackluster Soldier from the graveyard. You send the 2 knights, one from the deck, one from the hand. Ritual Summon. BLS. Activate BLS. Banish the 4000 attack monster. Banish a card from the hand. Battle phase. Activate the Blackluster Soldier effect to attack again. 3000. Exact lethal. Nice. This is a little bit of a longer game. This is against Elemental Heroes, which I thought was really funny, so I thought I'd share. It's also one of those games where I don't draw the combo, so what do you do when you don't draw it? So, my opponent starts. You want to go second in this deck? He summons Blaze Man, he adds Poly, and that's it. So what do? Well, we have Super Soldier Soul, so we go ahead and do that, and then just open the monster, and we keep our 3000 attack. Oh wait, no, we link away, sorry. We link away into Rushka. The reason why we do this is because we want to get the Little Knight into our hands. And now we have it in our hands, so we're one step closer. Our opponent resummons Blaze Man. I just go ahead and Book of Moon that because I don't want him to play the game. I use the trap card to get the Little Knights and Blackluster Soldier into the graveyard. One step closer. We're hoping to find some way into the Ritual Spell. Unfortunately, we draw Compulse. Gaia lets us banish a dark monster from the graveyard, but this adds the monster, not the spell, so we haven't really gone any farther. We can link 2. We link 2 into Codebreaker. This is that link monster that's a warrior. It's good because it has 2300 attack, so we go ahead and destroy the Blaze Man and pass it over to our opponent. And then he sets one pass. Okay, maybe we'll get a ritual spell this turn. A second Compulse. Great! We normal summon our Little Knight for that 500 life points of damage. We link our Little Knight away into our second copy of whatever it is, the Clara Nushka. Okay, nice. Get that in the graveyard. And then we can go for a link to, I go for Double Bite Dragon. Alright, so this is, sorry, I'm remembering this duel as I'm seeing it. So this is actually what I wanted to showcase. If you're waiting around and your opponent is also waiting around for something, I don't know what, but for something, you can go into this, and it's not bad. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects except with a Link monster, and the Link monsters in this format are bad. So yeah, 2400 attack, not bad. What's our opponent gonna do now? Good question. Set to pass. Alright, cool. Maybe we'll get our ritual spell. Okay. Let's compulse the set card. Normal summon Senju. We have searched all of our BLS, so the card does nothing except do 1400 points of life point damage. Alright, we're one step closer to ending this godforsaken duel. Normal summon Avion, and then he plays this. So what I should have done was compulsed the Avion on its summon. But it was an Avion, so I wasn't necessarily concerned. But then he plays this card, which I've never seen in my life, that special summons 2 elemental heroes from the hand. I compulse the Avion, but the damage is already done. It's too late. The play is gonna happen, whether I like it or not. Out comes the Clayman and the Avion. And I'm thinking, oh no. What's this guy gonna do with elemental hero, Avion, and Clayman? He link summons into this dude, the Infernal Devicer. And this guy reveals a fusion monster from the extra deck, and I believe adds the materials to the hand, which is pretty okay. And then he has a Poly in his hand because of the Blaze Man. So we're going into a fusion. Alright, let's see it. Elemental hero, Tempest. And then he has this card set, the Magistery Alchemist, which you banish a Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind monster from your graveyard to summon an elemental hero. Its attack is doubled, and then it negates effects. So my Double Bite Dragon no longer has protection, which is not good. And then this Sparkman comes out. It's got 3200 attack. Ow. Ow. So, essentially my opponent has channeled the anime. So, what am I to do? I am in very much need of the ritual spell. Or I lose. Do I draw it? I do. Manju, search the spell. I finally get to make the play. Little Knights, ritual summon. I can now banish 2 cards. Let's go ahead and do that. Banish. 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 And that's it. Hopefully that shows off what the deck can do, and yeah, go play Blackluster Soldier. It's a neat deck.